Welcome to the Pulpit Discussion. This is a Christian platform where we discuss topics that will enrich your faith and strengthen you in your Christian journey of life.
Life is a long journey. Not everybody will go with you from the beginning of the journey to the end. The only way you can get that out of them is that you let the past go.
Oh, I love love. What are the new ways that I can love my wife or love my husband?
Yes.
No, I'm not saying
Join your host, Lady Dora, listen every Monday on YouTube or Facebook at the Pulpit Media as we delve into the Word of God and have meaningful conversations concerning life and faith on the Pulpit Discussion.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome once again to the Pulpit Discussions. I am your host, Lady Dora. Always a joy and a pleasure to bring you the Pulpit Discussions. Today, we are going to continue with what we started last week. And before we do that, why don't you join me as we worship the King of Kings, the Lord of Lords. He's the reason why we do what we do. So gather the family, call your friends. Let's gather around the dinner table, worship God, and let's watch the Pulpit Discussion together. Stay tuned. Hallelujah to the Most High King. You are holy and there is none like you, Lord. You are the King of Kings and you are the Lord of Lords. We've come to render our appreciation unto you, O Lord. Receive all the praise and adoration in Jesus' name. You are holy. You are holy. King of kings and Lord of lords. You are holy. You are holy. Son of God, Emmanuel, Son of God, Emmanuel, Son of God, Emmanuel. You are holy. You are holy. King of kings and Lord of lords. You are holy. You are holy. Son of God, Emmanuel, you are worthy. You are worthy. King of kings and Lord of lords. You are worthy. You are worthy. Son of God, Emmanuel. You are holy. You are holy. King of kings and Lord of lords. You are holy. You are holy. Son of God, Emmanuel. Son of God, Emmanuel. Son of God,
Emmanuel. Holy, you are holy, King of kings, Lord of lords, you are holy, holy, you are holy, King of kings, Lord of lords, I worship you. King of kings and Lord of lords, you are King of kings and Lord of lords. King of kings, Lord of lords, we worship you. Ahimohi Eremwera Oyahimohene Eremwera Ahimohi Eremwera. Yes, sorry, King of kings, Lord of lords, King of kings and Lord of lords, King of kings, Lord of lords, we worship you. Awesome God, great thou art. You are God, mighty are your miracles. We stand in awe of your holy name. Lord, we bow and worship you. Awesome God, how great thou art. You are God, mighty are your miracles. We stand in awe of your holy name. Lord, we bow and worship you. Holy are you, Lord, all creation, we call you God. Worthy is your name. We worship your majesty. Awesome God, how great thou art. You are God, mighty are your miracles. We stand in awe of your holy name. Lord, we bow and worship you. Lord, we bow and worship you. Lord, we bow and worship you. Thank you, Jesus. How great is our God? How great is his name? He's the greatest of How great is our God? How great is His name? He's the greatest of all. Forever the same. He rolled back the waters of the mighty Red Sea and said, I will never leave you. Put your trust in me. He rolled back the waters of the mighty Red Sea, and He said, I won't leave you. So put your trust in me. How great is my God? How great is His name? He's the greatest of all. Forever the same. How great is my God? How great is His name? He's the greatest of all. Forever the same. He rolled back the waters of the mighty Red Sea and said, I won't leave you. Put your trust in me. He rolled back the waters of the mighty Red Sea and said, I will never leave you. Put your trust in me. Put your trust in me. Come on.
good afternoon, good evening, and welcome once again to the Pulpit Discussions. I am your host, Lady Dora. Always a joy and a pleasure bringing the Pulpit Discussions. So today, we are going to continue with what we started last week on financial planning and investment and insurance. Last week, it was such an awesome time, but I know that we weren't able to finish. And so, I invited the gentleman to come again. Deacon Henne is his name, Isaac Henne. And like I said last week, he's a devoted deacon of the Church of Pentecost, a loving husband to one wife, a proud father. He's also served in the United States Navy. He is a veteran right now, and he has over 80 years of honorable service to the nation. His career is, very diverse, and he served as a teacher, military service member, and also a skilled X-ray and CT technologist. But today he continues his passion for service as a licensed financial professional, and he's licensed in all 50 states. So I just want to welcome Deacon Henne once again to the Pulpit Discussion. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you. Am I on air? Can you guys hear me? Perfect. Let me see.
All right, thank you. I'm sorry about that. I know we started last week about financial investment and a little bit of the insurance. If you can give us a recap of what we talked about last week, and then we can pick it up from there.
All right. Thank you very much. And God bless each and every one, and God bless all the viewers. Last week was awesome, but this week is going to be mind blowing. So just sit tight, get your pens and papers, get your questions ready. I know there's going to be plenty of questions that will come at the end of the discussion. So last week when we started, we take a look at the need for the Christians to get life insurance. So we define what the life insurance is. We also take a look and see who life insurance is for and who the life insurance is not for them. And then we also dive into answer a couple of questions, and then to be able to talk about things like what are the type of life insurance. We didn't go deep into that. We just brush on it. So, but today we'll be able to go in and then to be able to share more information when it comes to the types of life insurance and which one we should get and other questions that we will be able to address today. So last week, that is what we started with. We started taking a look at what the life insurance and the need for life insurance. So that's what we defined last week, and then we will continue today.
All right, thank you so much for that recap. So I guess, yeah, so now if you can tell us who should buy life insurance, because usually when we talk about life insurance, at least growing up, I thought it was for older people. And so if you're a young person, you're not thinking about death. Right. Now, from what you said last week, come to understand that there's life insurance with living benefits and all that. So who would be the right person to buy life insurance?
All right. Thank you very much, Ledora, for that question. So when it comes to life insurance, as the word start with the word life insurance, I start with the word life. So I would say that everybody or anybody that have life, anyone that has life must get a life insurance. So if you have a life, you have to get life insurance. Just like if you have a car, you need to get a car insurance. If you have a house, you have to get mortgage protection insurance. If you have a microwave or laptop, you get insurance on it. The same way if you have a life. So everybody that have a life in them, and one of the most important thing and the most important gift that we have is life. So anybody that have life and they value their life, you have to get life insurance. So that is the simple answer that I will get. Anybody that have, if you don't have life, you don't need life insurance. But if you have life, you need life insurance. So that is the simplest way I will define that for you.
All right, thank you. I like that analogy. If you have life, then you need life insurance. If you don't have life, then don't even worry about it. So when is the best time? I know that, I mean, you said that if we have life, then, you should buy it. But is there a specific time that you would say that, okay, this is the time that you need to buy life insurance? I'm asking this because, there may be people that are watching that would say, look, even what I need to eat right now, I don't have it. I can't afford to even save anything. So what are you talking about? So that's what I want to know, that what is the best time to buy life insurance? And if a person is saying that they don't really have money, what would you say to that person?
Right. Thank you very much for that question. All right. So the best time to buy life insurance is yesterday. The best time to buy it is yesterday, or maybe 5 years ago, 10 years ago, or maybe today. Tomorrow is what? Is too late for you. Now, the reason I say that is because when it comes to life insurance, there is something that is called adverse selection. When people are young and they are healthy, they decided to what? To push life insurance away. I don't like it. I'm too young. I'm not going to die. So that concept is called adverse selection. When people decided, you know what, I'm too young, I'm healthy, I'm not going to die, I'm not going to get sick. So why do I need to get life insurance? So they don't worry about life insurance. Now, when you get sick and you get older, or when you get older and you become sick, when the high blood pressure, cholesterol, diabetes, stroke, and other things have clocked in, now that is a time that individual will like to go and get life insurance. But that time also, the life insurance also will select against you. So this is the concept that is happening. When people are young and they are healthy, they decline life insurance. But when you are old and you are sick, then life insurance company will decline you. And then people get mad. And they say, why have they declined me? Yes, it's because it's a risk that they are accepting. And they choose to what? Decide whether they're going to accept this risk or they're going to reject the risk. So they have hired someone that has gone to school with a degree or master's or PhD to come and sit down there and be the gatekeeper, to come and keep the gate, to screen people that are coming in. So just like you getting a car insurance, if you're getting a car insurance and you have a lot of accident on your record, what is going to happen? Is either they're going to say they will not give it to you, or you're going to pay higher. So the same thing. So the best time to get life insurance was actually yesterday. But if we couldn't do it yesterday, today is there. Tomorrow is too late for us. So the best time is today. To get it for your children, to get it for your wife, to get it for your spouse, to get it for yourself is today. Because yesterday is gone, but the only thing that we have is today, not tomorrow. Thank you.
Okay, so thank you for that. I like it. Someone would say it's easier said than done.
Right.
So what would you tell that person who really likes the idea of this life insurance, but thinks that they don't have money? They think they don't have anything to spare.
Yes, that's a very good question. So I come across that all the time. Sometimes people are living right on their budget. The budget is not budgeting. I understand. So that is when you meet the person where they are. So hey, the need for life insurance, we cannot push it back. We cannot push it back because one of the biggest thing is everything that you wait for later is always going to be greater. Later is greater. Later is greater. And always the losing the what do you call it? The waiting game is always a losing game. Anytime you keep waiting, you're going to lose that game. You have the chance to score, go ahead and score it right now. You have the chance to prepare right now. You have the chance to do something, do it right now. The moment you keep waiting, somebody's going to take that opportunity from you, or that opportunity will not be on the table again. So always the waiting game is a losing game. So why do I tell somebody that doesn't have a lot of money? This is what we're going to do. We are going to look at the budget. So most of the time, financial professionals sit down with our clients and they don't do financial needs analysis. You might know that some of these clients, they are already on budget, but when you do financial needs analysis and you put out how much income is coming in, how much is their mortgage, how much are they paying for this, paying for that, they list everything down and you do the balance sheet, you see that there is something that they could have saved on it. There is something that they are paying that they're even forgetting about it. Say, hey, we can close this one and use it to protect your life. Or maybe Everything is tight. There is no way around it. Hey, after you've done with everything, we can spare about $15 or maybe $20 now to get you something for now. So that when the budget start budgeting, then we give you something that is permanent. So that is what I would say when it comes to people that are really on budget.
Oh, okay. All right, thank you. So with all that said, how does a person determine how much life insurance they need? Because I'm pretty sure if left to people, everyone would say, oh, maybe I wish I could get like $1 million, or 2 million or 3 million. But like you rightly said, if the budget is not budgeting, you can talk all you want. So how much, or how would you know how much you need?
All right. So that is another good question. So there are actually two categories of people when it comes to insurance. Insurance are people that have insurance or don't have insurance. So there are people that have insurance, but they are severely underinsured. These people have insurance. If you go through people in the community that have insurance, you can find out at least about 95% of the community they say they have insurance. But when you look at how much they are making, if you look at all their liabilities, their assets and other things, and the insurance that they have in place, they are severely underinsured. And then we have the group of people that have no insurance. So the people that have that have the right amount of insurance, they constitute about 1% or maybe 1.2% of the American population. They have the right amount. If they pass away today, they will have a right amount of insurance coming in to be able to take care of all the assets and then build generational wealth. So one of the biggest things is other people are they are severely underinsured. Now, how do we calculate how much insurance somebody needs? Let's take a look at this. There is something that is called the need approach, and there is something that is called the human value approach. I'm going to use the human value approach. So the human value approach simply means that you or me, my life, right now, the value that I bring to the family. I am the breadwinner, or maybe you are the breadwinner in your family. How much money you bring in a year, and other value that you bring into the family. You have to value all that. So, for example, let's say somebody is bringing home $100,000 a year. If that person is gone, if that person is out, that means if that person passed away. If that person passed away, then what is going to happen? That 100,000 is not going to come in again. Why? Because that 100,000 is from a job. And if you don't show up to the job, that 100,000 is not coming in again. Because it's a personal income. If you show up, you make money. No show, no income. So if that person is gone, if that person's life is cut off, how many years do we want to replace that 100,000 for it to come to the family? So somebody will say, okay, if I'm gone right now, I want my wife to be receiving that 100,000 for the next 5 years. So that means that person will take that 100,000, multiply by 500,000. Now, so that is going to replace the income. If there is a mortgage and everything, maybe student loan, credit card that we want to factor in, then that becomes something different. But sometimes we can also use the same income that we are getting from at the end of the year to be able to factor in to pay the mortgage, to pay the student loans, and to send the kids to school. So the person will say, you know what, if I'm gone, I want my family to receive 20 years of my income. So I don't want my wife, I don't want my husband to worry about the income that I'm bringing in for the next 20 years. So that means let's take that 20, multiply by 100,000. That is about $2 million. So we need $2 million of life insurance. So that is how life insurance, the amount of life insurance that you need is calculated. Most of the time, I sit down with people and then I take a look at their portfolio, and then this person is making $170,000 a year. But we check how much insurance they have, $200,000, $250,000. I was like, who did this? You're making $170,000 a year, and your life insurance is $250,000. That cannot even replace your income for the next 2 years. So that person is severely underinsured. Though you have insurance, but when you pass away, that insurance is going to be able to take care of your family for the next maybe two years, and everything is gone. Then the wife and the children, or the husband and the children, have to go to a struggling mode, survival mode. So that is how we determine life insurance. We determine life insurance based on what is called the human needs approach, or what is called the human value. So the need approach talks about what do we need. If I'm gone, what does my wife or my children need to survive? The children have to go to school, so I have to factor in the school fees. So all those things you have to factor in. Maybe they have to pay off the house. You have to factor those things in. So that is how life insurance is actually calculated. You cannot just sit down with someone and say, oh, let's give you 200,000. Let's give you, but you have to look at how much the person is making, what is their need, and then you use that one to factor how much they will need. Sometimes also, those things are not going to work. We just have to be frank with ourselves. If I sit down with you, the budget is not budgeting. I know you're making maybe you're making $50,000 a year, and then you want to replace, God forbid you passed away, you want to replace your income for the next 5 years. That's maybe 250,000, but you cannot pay for that. So what do? We start somewhere, and then so most of the insurance account is called grow up plan. So it grows up with you. So as your life is changing and things are getting better, you have the option to increase the insurance. So you just have to start somewhere. So, but actually, that is the main way that we determine how much insurance somebody needs.
That is very interesting. I never knew that a person could spread their insurance for like 20 years. I thought once a person dies, they give everything to whoever was the beneficiary.
So that's another thing to bring up, First Lady. So when it comes to insurance, you have an option to be able to determine how the death benefit settlement should be paid out. So you can choose what is called the lump sum. So lump sum simply means, God forbid the person passed away, all the money in the insurance should be given to the beneficiary. Now, you can also put things in place like a trust and other things, and put it in place and say, hey, when I passed away, I don't want you to give this $2 million or $1 million to my wife or to my children because they're going to misuse it. So what do? We put it in the trust, and then you put some coding or some language around it that is going to tell them, say, okay, every year pay my wife 50,000 or pay them 60,000 or 100,000 from the life insurance. And if somebody wants to come and borrow money from it, so trust is something that you can also do. Now, when you have the account also, you have different options that you can tell the insurance company to do, whether you want them to keep, the insurance company can keep the money when the person passed away and pay the interest to the family, or they can also pay them installments while they're keeping the money for what? To invest it for the person. So there are so many ways that you can do it, but mostly all we know is, oh, when I passed away, they write a check and give it to somebody. That is why most people don't like life insurance, because they think if I die, last week we were talking about it, and they give the money to my wife, she's going to get married with another person. So most people think about that also. But why don't you get a trust and put all the life insurance in a trust so that all the money is not going to go to your wife? There is going to be what? There is going to be rules and regulations that is governing the trust, telling how much should be paid out and when and how who should receive this amount. So definitely that is so life. You can have different payout options. It's called life settlement option. So when you die, you have different options to for them to pay the money out.
Okay, thank you so much. So since we're talking about life insurance and people don't like to hear the when you die aspect, I want to focus more on the when you are living benefits, because I think that makes more sense to people to know that, okay, if I buy this insurance, at least whilst I'm alive, I can also benefit, so that you are not only thinking about when you are dead and gone and those behind you. Because I mean, there are people who say that they really don't care. I mean, once they are dead, they are dead. So if you can speak, if you can speak to that, even with you, how you're talking about, you can spread it out and all those things. So whilst I'm alive, if I buy the insurance, looking at the benefits, if you can speak to how one can benefit more whilst they are alive, can I spread the money as well whilst I'm alive? Can I say, okay, I have paid enough now for the next 5 years? Insurance company every year bring me 30,000, 20,000. Does it work like that?
Yes, thank you very much. That is a very good question. So as we established last week, we have two types of life insurance. We have the term policy, which is the pure life insurance. We will talk a little bit about it. I will share screen and then I will give a little bit explanation about that. And then we have the permanent insurance. The permanent insurance is the one that allows you to be able to build cash value Either you are building the cash value from what? From a dividend standpoint, or you are building the cash value from what? From what? From a stock standpoint. What means they're giving you interest rate. And then there are different one of them. Now, you can use a life insurance as a supplemental vehicle to supplement your retirement. So you can use life insurance as a retirement. But before I go to retirement, let me talk about first thing that will happen. So we have children. The children are going to go to college. So if you design your life insurance and you design it properly, it's called maximum funded cash value life insurance. So whatever type you have, if you match fund it properly, when the child is going to go to college, you'll be able to what? Come and pull money out from that account every year or every month for the child to what? Do whatever they want to do. So that is the first thing. So I'm not going to talk about when we are going for retirement, when your children are going to go to college. So if you set one for your children, while the child is alive, they'll be able to leverage that money to pay for what? For their school fees when they go to college. Maybe they want to buy their first car. They'll be able to leverage that money to buy that first car. What if we want to set up a big 18-year birthday for the child? You don't have to go and worry about money. Come and put that money out for that. Now, once we are going on retirement time, money is money. As long as that money is legal, moral, and ethical, money is money. Whether that money is going to come from your social security, it's going to come from your 401k, it's going to come from your stocks, it's going to come from your pension, from your job, or it's going to come from your life insurance. If you design a life insurance in a good way, and you stand for you to go on retirement, you will be able to start also get retirement from your life insurance. And you have to design it very well. So yes, whilst you are alive for retirement, you can tell the company, hey, I've paid this amount of money. This is how much I have grown in this cash value in there. I want you guys to turn on income for me. Every year, I want you guys to pay me 20,000 or 30,000 or 50,000. And they will pay that for you every year for the rest of your life. Now, when you pass away, the rest of the money goes to your family. So yes, whilst you are alive, you can set it up the way. You can set it up that when you go on retirement time, they can make payment. Now, let me clarify this one also. Life insurance also is not something that you have to pay it until you die. You don't have to pay it until you die. Yes. So you have to, just like you buying a house. When you buy a house, it's how many years? 30 years mortgage, right? You can decide to wait and pay it until the 30 years, or you can pay it out in 15 years or 10 years or 18 years. It's up to you. So if you have a proper type of life insurance, you can decide to pay it off faster. So you can decide, instead of me paying until I'm at 100 years, I'll pay it off in the next 20 years and I'm done. It's called limited pay cash value policy. So you paid it off. So somebody will say, okay, I want to pay my life insurance off until when I'm 65, I'm done. And then from 65 years going, they will never put $1 into that account. The account is going to be there until they die. So that is one of the biggest. You don't have to pay it until they die, because I get that question all the time. Do I have to pay it until I die? When can I stop payment? Yes, you have to design it properly, and then you can stop payment down the line.
Okay, I mean, that's very interesting. Hearing you say you have to design it properly. I know you keep stressing on that. That means that if it's not designed properly, because it sounds very interesting and so much easier. And, you want to think, of course, I would want to, pay it in 20 years or 30 years. But we're talking about big sums of money here, right?
Right. No, so it's not big sums of money, because it all depends on how much insurance you're talking about and how. So it all starts from your financial objective. What do you want to use that account for? So maybe I want to use it as what? As a legacy or generational wealth. So if I'm talking about generational wealth, I cannot be building generational wealth with $50,000 of life insurance. That cannot build generational wealth. So we got to be fair with ourselves. If I'm talking about generational wealth, I'm talking about millions of dollars, 2 million, 3 million, 5 million. So that one is going to cost you to put more in based on your age. That is what I was talking about. If you started earlier, when you are early, everything is cheaper because you are healthy. You are not more of a liability to the company because you are strong, you are healthy, you are young. So they don't see you as what? You are dying now. But the more you wait and then you get older, then it becomes more expensive. So if you take a look at it, what it is it's all based on what? It's based on what? The age and then the time you're starting and all those things, so that you'll be able to. So it's not going to cost you an arm and a leg. You just have to design, okay, I want to build generational wealth. I need $2 million. Or I want to what? I just want to get something in place that, God forbid, if I'm no more, they can use it to pay off what? pay off the mortgage. How much is the mortgage? Maybe 150,000. So we just get 150,000, and then you build with that one. So yes, it's not going to be able to cost you an arm and a leg. You just have to look at the objective, the financial objective behind what you want to do.
So, all right, let us know where you're watching us from. Tell us what is going on. If you have any question about investment, about the insurance we're talking about, please feel free, put it in the chat room, and I would try and answer that. So, I guess my next question will be, if I'm getting the insurance, can I get more than one policy? You know, and if you're going to get more than one policy, because I know that there are different insurance companies. At least I know of Transamerica, I know Nationwide, AIG. If you, as an individual or even a family, can you get more than one policy? And if you can do that, how do you determine which company you should go with?
Okay, so that is a very good question. I actually get that question. Somebody asked me that question not too long ago. And then because people are thinking, oh, if you have a life insurance, then you cannot get another one. No, that is not true. So you can get multiple policies from different companies. So you have to, as long as just your income is able to allow you to pay for it. As long as your income, you have a proof of income, you work, you make money, so you can pay for it. So you're allowed to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 policies. I know someone has 8 policies, 8 different policies from different companies. Now, sometimes you use one policy for different reasons. You use this one for different reasons. You use this one for different reasons. Last week I was talking about getting a life insurance policy that is solely for your mortgage. So if you have a house, you need to get that in place. So people get life insurance because they have some debt in place. So it's called what? Mortgage or maybe credit or policy. That comes in, God forbid, when the person die or they become disabled and they cannot make payment again. Those policies will come in and what? Help them pay what? Pay all those what? Debt, like a mortgage. So let's say, God forbid, you get sick. That insurance that you put on the house will not be able to pay for what? The mortgage. It doesn't do that. It comes in when the house what? The house has an issue with the roof or the foundation or anything. But God forbid you get sick and you cannot go to work again. How is the mortgage going to get paid for? That's why you need to get a separate insurance on the mortgage. But that insurance is not on the house. It's on you, the person. And that insurance must have a living benefit. What does that mean? It means, God forbid, when you get sick, heart attack, stroke, cancer, diabetes, that insurance should be able to write you a check to be able to pay for what? Pay for your mortgage. Or God forbid, when you passed away, that money that will come from that insurance will pay is solely for what? For the house. So somebody will get 2 different types of insurance, or maybe 4, 5, 6, and then you say, okay, if I passed away, this one is coming in to pay the mortgage. If I passed away, this one here is coming into what? To build legacy for the next generation. If I passed away, I want this chunk here to go to what? My wife, and then to be taken care of what? Daily activities or other things. So people get, I know people have different types, and I don't have one. So my children don't have one. So it's not that something I'm telling you that you can do. I have done it. So yes, you can do more than one type of more than one type. But when we sit down, we have to look at what you have in place. What are you using that one for? Then we look at what else can we do. We can what? Somebody just get one only for life insurance. Now you say, okay, let me get one for only what? For the what? For the cash value part. So that we design that one only what? So that it can build more cash value for them to go and take the money out faster. So that is definitely yes. I got that question last week. Somebody asked me before we started the pulpit. Is it allowed for somebody to get multiple type of life insurance? Yes, you are allowed to do that.
All right, thank you. So there's a question on the in the chat room. I want to ask that before I continue, and that is from my sister Jennifer. She says, "So is that the name of the insurance, mortgage insurance? And what if we don't pass away before we pay off our mortgage? Can we get the money or transfer it elsewhere?"
Yes, so that is a very good question, Auntie Jennifer. Yeah, so that one is called mortgage protection insurance. That is different from the one that when you buy the house, they add it to that one. That one is different. That protects the house, the structure. And one of my friends was telling me, do you know that insurance does not cover anything that is in the house, but just the structure? So it's called caricature insurance. Caricature. It's just covering the structure of the house. What is the structure? The foundation and the roof. So if you come to the house and then you have what? You have a ceiling that is broken, it doesn't cover that. You got to fix it yourself. When you come to the house and there is a tiles or something that the window is broken, you got to fix that one. So that insurance does not cover that. Now, the mortgage protection insurance that I'm talking about is that you are saying that, okay, I have this mortgage. I'm making payment every month. I'm the one that is making the payment. God forbid if something should happen and I cannot make that payment, what happens? Now, one thing that you have to understand in America is that in America, if you cannot make payment to your house, let's say a mortgage or maybe your apartment, do you think that the mortgage or the apartment complex will allow you to stay there for maybe 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months because you are a good Christian, because you are the one that prays every day, because you've been paying your bills all the time? No, they don't do that. It doesn't happen here in America. Where we're coming from is going to happen because you can build a house in Ghana and give it to somebody to stay in there and you don't charge them anything. It can happen there. But here in America, the difference between you and the person that is on the roadside being homeless is just a thin thread. Because you can have a mortgage, you're living a comfortable life, you're enjoying life. Something can just strike in today, and then what? You cannot go to work again. Now, the only difference is that you are sick, but everything remains the same. Do you have to pay the mortgage? Of course, you cannot default. How many months are you allowed to default your mortgage and it's out of your hands? Only 3 months. So imagine you paying your house for 20 years. You got only 10 years left. You are killing it. But you get sick, heart attack, stroke, cancer, diabetes. As I know that as I'm mentioning this name, somebody sitting down is doing the Tofiakwa sign. Tofiakwa. God forbid, it's not me. It's not going to happen to me. We say that all the time, but we see it happen every single day. So if you take a look at this one here, God forbid you get sick. Must you pay the mortgage? Of course, you're going to pay it. If you miss payment for 3 months, what happened to that? The house is going to foreclosure. So because of that, you say, oh, you know what? Let me get a mortgage protection insurance on this house for 20 years or for 30 years of that mortgage. Yes, I know Auntie Jennifer is asking, if I finish making payment and then the house, what happened? Yes, the same thing that you have insurance on the car, you've been paying that insurance on the car for the past 20, 30 years, but you cannot go and take any money from there. That is the same thing. If in the concept of the house, if the 20 years or 30 years comes and you didn't die, that is a hallelujah, praise the Lord. We thank God because we don't want you to die. The only difference is that we shielded you, you get protected. So you protected yourself against the what if, against the what if, against the what if. Because if you don't do it and it happens to you, it's too late. So there are 5 P's in life. It's called proper preparation prevents poor performance. Proper preparation prevents poor performance. So we don't know when it's going to happen, but it is there. It can happen. So that is why we put things in place. So yes, Auntie Jennifer, when you have that mortgage protection, you are just protecting yourself in case something happens. In case nothing happens, get what happened. If you have paid the house for the next 30 years, guess how much equity you have in that house? You see? So now you have equity. But if you pay that car insurance for the next 20 years or 30 years, do you have any equity in that car? No. So that insurance, that mortgage protection insurance just shielded you for the next 20, 30 years so that you can protect yourself and your family, because anything can happen. So definitely, yes, you cannot get any money from that one. You cannot transfer it. It's just It's just a protection, just like you're paying for your car or your watch or your rent, and you cannot take anything out of it.
All right, thank you so much. So Jennifer said, hey, so it's good to, so is it good to live long? So all that money is gone. All that money is gone.
Yeah.
Of course. That's what insurance is all about.
Right.
So
right. So if you want to take everything personal, when it comes to the concept of insurance, then you will not have car insurance. You will not have house insurance. You will not have mobile phone insurance. But we get it every single day. And we pay it every single day. Do you know that somebody is paying car insurance about $500, $800 for car insurance? But they cannot even pull $100 for their life insurance. And one of the saddest things that kind of saddens my soul is when things started going south, things are not working for people. And then you say, oh, the budget is getting tight. I have to what? Do some budgeting. People will take a look at everything that they have. They have insurance on their fridge. They will not touch that one. They have insurance on their microwave. They will not touch it. They have insurance on the house. They will not touch that one. Insurance on the car. They will not touch it. But they will cancel their life insurance. That is the first thing that people will do. They will cancel their life insurance. But they will leave their car insurance. They will leave their mortgage insurance. So anytime I think about life insurance, it's just like the Christian journey that we are in. The same way God has given us the will to do anything. But because certain things are by force, car insurance is compulsory, it's mandatory by the state. You cannot cancel that one. So somebody can just say, I'm not going to come to the church again, and they're gone. You cannot do them anything. The same thing happened to the life insurance concept. I don't want to do it again. I want to close it, and they close it. But when I think about that, it kind of saddens my soul that you can close your life insurance, but you're going to keep your microwave insurance. You keep that one. And then the washer and the disher have life insurance, and we don't have anything. So it's just more about what we just have to. It's a willpower. We just have to understand and then use it.
Thank you so much. So, but don't you think that people do that? You know, like you rightly said, when it comes down to what do we need to throw out the window, don't you think people take out the life insurance because, I mean, now we are hearing about living benefits, right? But think about it. It takes a very selfless person. So like, I know when I first came to this country, my father was, now he's back in the insurance business. When I first came, he was an insurance agent, right? And at that time, they didn't have all these living benefits and all that.
Right.
And he basically forced me to buy life insurance. I'm a 20-year-old, right? It got to a point I'm like, Master, the budget is not budgeting. I canceled it. Right. Because in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to die. Who's going to take the money? My dad? You know, so why don't I just spend my money now? And then if I'm gone, I'm gone. So don't you think that maybe a lot of people, I think it's different if you have a family. Or I should say it's different. A family as in the nuclear. It's different if you're married, you have kids. But don't you think that maybe now that we have living benefits, if you as an agent explains it well to an individual where they understand that I don't only have to die before I can get these benefits, but even as I'm alive, if I do the right and proper insurance, I can benefit. Don't you think if that explanation is given to people, it will minimize them, cutting off these insurances in times of hardship? Because I know that no matter how tight a person gets, yes, maybe car insurance, you may not want to do that because if the police stops you and you don't have it, you are doomed, right? But don't you think maybe it boils down to people not understanding these things, or maybe the agents not explain some of these benefits?
Right. So that is a very good thing. Sometimes I just look all the way back to the agent who started way back decades ago that was selling life insurance, and then I kind of have a little bit of sympathy for them, because all you are selling for the client is when they die, and it becomes a little bit hard. I was like, if I was to be in those generations, how am I going? What is going to be my pitch? Just buy this when you die, then your family will receive the money, because that is what it is. It's like, so life insurance has gone through transitioning, and changes has come, because change is the only constant thing in life. So things are getting better. Now, people from the decades or 2 decades ago, when they hear life insurance, now they have the same mindset that, oh, life insurance is when you die. So now when you sit down with them and talk to them about life insurance that has living benefit and life insurance that you can go and take money out of it, life insurance. So just today, I have one of my clients called me from Massachusetts. He said, Isaac, I have the policy for only 2 years. I want to see if I can take some money from that account. Let me check. I check her account, and she's able to take $4,000 from that account. We just called the company. She took money out of that. So these are the things that changes that have come into the industry. And to me, that is one of the biggest things, because me as a millennial, if you're talking to me about debt, I'm not interested in that. I'm interested in some place that I put my money and I'm seeing the money growing for me. I'm seeing interest rate from things like S&P 500, Global Index, NASDAQ, Hang Seng. These are the things that I want to put my money in. And then I'm thinking about how I can put the money away, and I don't have to wait 59 and a half to go and take the money, but I can come and pull money from that account to buy ticket for me and my wife to go for vacation. That is what I'm thinking about. So the living benefit aspect has done a great deal, but life insurance has changed over the years. It has changed for the better, and I'm very glad and I'm happy to be in the better one, in the better season. This is the better season for life insurance. It's never going to get better than this. When you have a life insurance, when you get sick, you're going to get money from it. When you become disabled, they will pay. When you go to nursing home, they will give you money. And when you die or when you go on retirement, you can take money out of it for retirement. Or when your children are going to college, you can use it for them to go to college. It's never going to get better. This is the better time. So definitely, people, when I sit down with the young folks, I'm not talking to them about dying. I'm saying, hey, this is life. This is not death insurance. This is a life insurance. Imagine you starting. I had one of the clients, 22-year-old, and I was asking him, how much money do you want to have for retirement? And he asked me, nobody has asked me this question again before. I was like, okay, how much money do you want to have for retirement? Now, the first question that I asked, at what age do you want to go on retirement? He said 65. I was like, okay, at the age of 65, how much money do you want to have accumulated for retirement? Worst case scenario, tax-free. And he's like, I never thought about that. I have guys that are investing my money in stocks and other things, but nobody talk about that concept. I was like, okay, if you start thinking about it today, in the next 65 years will come, you are okay. But if you don't think about it today, one of the biggest things that many people cannot go on retirement in our community is that we don't think about retirement from now. So when you ask them, how much money do you want to have saved? Then be like, what? I've never thought about that. But if you don't start thinking about it, maybe you want to start saving, you want to have $1 million at the age of 65, but you don't start early. You just wait 40 years, you have not started. 45, you have not started. How are you going to make that money at that time? Because retirement is not cheap. Anybody that tells you retirement is cheap, they're lying to you. Retirement is very expensive. Very, very expensive. To be able to spend time with that money, to be able to pass time, and time is going. You have to wait for next week. You have to wait for next year, and you have no money in your account. And you are not dying. If you are dying, that is easy. You just die and then you're gone. But you are not dying. And if you are still alive, you still have to pay your bills, keep up with everything. So this time, I'm so excited for life insurance, because when I sit down with investors, when I sit down with business owners, I can talk to them about life insurance that they can do for every single body in their company, and the company will take it as a tax write-off. It's called executive bonus plan. So life insurance has come a long way, and it has grown to be the best thing that we can talk about. And that is why I'm so excited about the industry. It's not going to get better than this, guys. This is the best it can be.
I like that. This is the best it can be. And I guess it's not just for agents, it is for you, the investor or the buyer as well. Because like I said, when I first came, it was just what you call death insurance. So you buy it, and imagine probably will still be paying.
Right.
And you don't see the benefit. So thank you for that. Now I want us to look at the term insurance, the whole and the universal. If you can differentiate and tell us which is better. But before then, I think I had asked you a question in regards to all these companies. Which one do you go with? How do you know that if someone is writing a policy for me, do I tell the agent, hey, I want Transamerica, or I want AIG? How do I know which one is good or is better?
All right. So that's a good thing. So one of the thing is that if you are a broker, you have access to different companies. If you are agent that works for the company, then that you have that company. So let's say the person works for maybe New York Life, or maybe they work for Progressive. That is what they can give to you. So whatever Progressive have, that is what they have to be able to be on the table to offer. Now, as a broker who have what options and you have different companies. So like me, I have access to over 75 companies. Am I able to work with all the companies? No. But what I do is what I get to know, and I get to understand all the product that they have. And then if I get a client, some of the companies are very strict. Some of them are a little bit lenient. Some of them will offer this product. Some of them will not offer that product. Sometimes in the state, some of them will offer this product in this state. They will say, we will not give you this in this state. So as a financial professional, my job is when I sit down with the client to see what the client want to do. If I get a client that want to use the life insurance to put more money in, they want to put more money in, I have a company that I take them to based on the interest rate that they will receive. If I have a client that will say, I want to get a life insurance, but I want to pay the minimum amount and other things, I have a company that I take them to because I know the company that have a lower rate. Now, if I have got a client that has medical issue and it's going to be very hard for them to qualify, then I have a different company that I take them to. Now, if I get children, then I have different company that I take the children to, because not every company will give the benefit to children. So if you get a children or if you got a child, you have to know which company you're taking the child to for their life insurance because of the benefit that comes with it. Because of the reason why I'm so excited, I consider the benefit because most people, about 90% of people that have life insurance, before they die, will get sick first. But when you get sick and you cannot leverage the life insurance, then what need is the life insurance to have it? When you are sick and you cannot go to work and you cannot leverage the life insurance. So yes, there are so many companies that I have, but I get to do my due diligence to go and learn, get their brochures and read about it, look at how their term is, how does it work, what benefit is in there, so that when I meet the client, I tell the client, okay, based on what you're looking for, this is the best company, and then I show them, okay, you are looking for more interest rate. Let me show you the interest rate that comes from this company. Then I show them the structure. Okay, you're looking for what? Lower rate. I show them 2 or 3 companies. This one, if you're looking for this much, is how much it's going to cost you. If you're looking for this company, is how much it's going to cost you. So which one do you want to go for? Okay, let's go for the one that has what? The lower rate. So that is so you have to be able to know which company. Sometimes it becomes very hard though, but especially if you have a lot of companies. And then one of the other things also, sometimes when it comes to things like whole life, people are looking for company that gives you dividends. So you also should be able to know which company has the dividends and which company has the interest. So that also can be another factor. And then one of the biggest things is also the state that they live in. So the state that you live in is also another factor. So if I get somebody living in the state of New York, I know the company that I'm going to give to them. There are certain companies that I will not give it to them in the state of New York. So I hope that answered the question.
Yes, it sure did. Thank you so much. And that goes on to show that you've got to be very careful with the kind of broker you're dealing with. I guess it's with any profession, know, even with doctors. I'm sure even when it comes to doctors, there are doctors who are last in their class, but they still made it. So I guess you as the client, I don't know, you have to be very careful and maybe do a little bit of research and know which broker is that you're dealing with, because looks like this comes with a lot of reading, and getting a lot of knowledge. And the reason I say that is that, there are people that, especially in this kind of business, they will just mention one particular company to you, just because that's the company they are familiar with. And just hearing you say that if you are dealing with children, some have benefits, some don't. So you as a broker, which of these companies will benefit a child,
right?
And which one benefits adults. So I guess if you are watching, you just have to be very careful and know that the broker you're dealing with is very knowledgeable with what they are selling you. I would like to take some comments, and then when we come back, if you can please explain to us, I know that you started last week, the term, the whole, and the universal, and let us know which one is better for us. All right, so I have oh, Elder Frimpong is here. He says, "Indeed, he is a King of Kings." Amen. Billy prays says, "Hallelujah." Amen. Says, "I worship you." Amen. Mama Evelyn says, "Good evening, everyone." Good evening, Mama Evelyn. CRK Afrolink says, "Great." We thank God. And then we didn't answer Jennifer's question. CRK says, so this is a question. He says, "Do we have our automatic qualification to this life insurance?"
Wow, automatic qualification. Yeah, so TRK, I think I wish there is an. Can you hear me? Okay.
Yes.
So I wish we have an automatic qualification, but unfortunately there is not. So in the life insurance concept, you have to qualify. That is one of the biggest things that when I sit down with client, I will be telling you everything that I'm telling you, but the account that I'm talking to you about that you even don't like it, I cannot even guarantee you can qualify for it. So the account that you don't like it, you have to qualify for it. So that is why I always say you don't have to hate life insurance. You just have to understand it. It's not something that you're going to give it to you for free. And you say, "Oh, let me take it." No, you have to qualify for it. So no, TRK, there is no automatic qualification. You have to qualify. And somebody can qualify for you today. You come back tomorrow, you don't qualify. Let me give you a typical example. I have one of my agent or my client in Pennsylvania. I did a policy for this lady a year ago, and then she told me stories. "Oh, I'm tired, blah, blah, blah." Couldn't take the policy. I let the policy close. The following year, she reached out to me. "Isaac, I'm ready now. Let's put in the application." I put in the application. She got declined. And then she became furious, angry. "I got approved last year. What happened?" Okay. From last year up to now, what happened? Okay. I went to the doctor. Okay. What happened? Okay. They have some diagnosis in my kidney. All right. So yes, last year you were, but this year you are not. Can you take them to court? No. This is not a court case. You cannot take anybody to court. They have the account. They have their policy. They say you don't qualify for it. You got no issue. So that is why when I said life insurance is not something that you have to hate it. The account that you are hating it, maybe you don't even qualify for that account, and you are just worrying yourself, hating the account. You just have to see. So unfortunately, TRK, there is no automatic qualification. Now, one of the biggest things that I think about life is, take a look at this. Everything that is quality in life, you have to qualify for it. There are two ways that you can live life. You can either drive a car or you can walk. If I'm going to ask you, TRK, do you want to drive or you want to walk? I'm sure you want to drive. That is a quality way of life. But did you have to qualify to buy the car? Yes. What about somebody that wants to live in the house? You can either live in the house or you can what? You can be homeless. Which one do you prefer for you and your family? Of course, the quality one, live in the house, nice one. Or maybe live in an apartment. But here is the biggest question. Must you qualify to buy a house? Yes. What about even living in an apartment? Do you have to qualify to live in an apartment? Of course. Everything that is quality comes with qualification. Everything that is quality in America, you have to qualify for it. Now, here is the question. Those accounts that we have, I'm not going to mention any names. Those ones that you have, a lot of them that you have in place, how many of them did you have to qualify to get it? And then I will let you answer that question. So unfortunately, TRK, there is no automatic qualification. I wish there is, but no. Even children get declined. As young as 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, the insurance company can decline a child. So yes. So it's not a right, it's a privilege. If they give it to you, they give it to you. If they say they don't give it to you, you cannot fight it. You cannot take them to court. That it is what it is. So I see no reason why people hate life insurance when you cannot even qualify for the account. All right.
So I guess when you say when you cannot qualify, I guess when you put the information in, so what you're saying is that I know with the life insurance that I'm talking about, the old one, the one that I want to call death insurance, right? I know those days, even though no matter how young you were, they would still do like a blood work or whatever, But I noticed that with the one with the IUL, not everybody does that. For some of us, you didn't have to. Well, I heard that insurance companies do their own background check or whatever. So what you're saying is that um, even though you are young, you can still input a person's information in there and they'll still get declined, right? Is that what you're saying? I think you're muted. This
Okay.
guy.
Sorry about that. Yeah. So yes, that is what it is. So in those days, information were not that readily available. You're talking about electronic record. You're talking about all this information is all over the places, but it wasn't like that. So that is why in those days, when you put in life insurance, they will come home and they will come and what? Do blood work for you. These days, when you put in life insurance, the first thing that they pull is that they're going to pull your driving history. So automatically your driving history just get pulled over to the company. So they know your driving history. If you have a DUI, if your driver's license is suspended, they're going to decline you because automatically it's a connected system that pulls everything there. Now we have what is called the Medical Information Bureau that is able to pull a skeletal view of what? Of your medical history. So if you have gone to the emergency room, you're taking medication, they will be able to see all those information. So that's why sometimes these days they don't have to worry themselves to go and what? Do extra lab because they have what they need. Now, if they want to come and do extra digging, then they can come and say, okay, let's go do labs, or let's reach out to your doctor and get some information. So that's the difference between the olden days and now, because information right now is very what? We get a lot of electronic health records, system is here, there, we pull it. So yes, when you put in life insurance account, the insurance company will get your information. Now, when it comes to children, one of the biggest things that children decline is what? Is medical. So some of the kids, they have this blood issue, maybe sickle cell, maybe they get anemia, maybe they get ADHD, maybe they get asthma, and all these things the insurance company is going to determine as what? As a risk that they are going to accept. So they just make a decision. Do we accept this risk or we reject it? So yeah, that is why. So most definitely, I get a lot of children that got declined. I get a lot of kids that have been declined. Sometimes it's very hard for you to sit down with a family and tell them, hey, your children, all the kids got declined. But sometimes you have to do it. It is what it is. You put in the application, all the information is going to pull up. The insurance company is going to see it. The child is taking medication for ADHD. They're taking medication for what? They're taking for maybe asthma or something. There's what? Then there's going to be what? A two-sided thing. They're going to decide whether they want to accept it or they want to reject it. Yes.
Thank you so much. That's very interesting. I didn't know that, even without the bad work and all that, they pull your driving history and all that. I never knew that was also
yes.
determinant.
When it comes to adults, they check a lot of things. So your driving history is going to be the first thing that the insurance company is going to receive. Once you put in the application, that is the first thing that the state will send. They will see it. They will receive it automatically. You don't have to do anything. Automatically, just they receive it. Now, they're going to check your medical history also. And then they're going to check your criminal history. As it stands right now, I have about 6 people that I did a policy for them. They get declined for criminal history. So criminal history, there might be something that was tied into their background. They did something was associated with them. Maybe they go to jail, and then now it's hunting them. They will not get, the insurance company will not give them the account. And then even your immigration status can also what? Get you a decline for life insurance. So you live in the United States. What kind of status are you here with? Green card? Are you here with what? Asylum as a refugee? You here with what? With permanent residence? You're good. If you have those documents, you're good. But if you don't have any of these documents and you are undocumented immigrant and you put in the policy, the insurance company will not give it to you. So everything, I've seen it all. I've seen it all from people that have made what do you call it, document issue, but we put in application, they don't qualify. I see it all, people with criminal history, people with medical history, and then you are driving history also. I get it all the time. Oh, this person have this on their driving history. They didn't what? They didn't pay their fine, and then there was something administrative head against them, and because of the insurance company is going to see you as well as a risk, and they will not accept that. And let me say this before you even come in. Some people also, like people from our community, they have a medical issue. Maybe they have diabetes. Maybe they have high blood pressure, but they decided to sit home and they'll be taking some concussion, some sobolo and other things. Now they will not go and see a doctor. I have a lot of clients that go decline for that, and I was like, what is going on? You have medical issue. Go and see a doctor. They will not go and see the doctor. And then you put in the policy, the insurance company, okay, this person has diabetes, but the last time he saw a doctor is 3-4 years ago. We don't want to accept, they decline the policy. So yes, if you have a medical issue, follow up with your doctor, follow the doctor's plan before you take your concussion or your sobolo on the side, because other than that, it's going to come back and affect you one day.
All right. Thank you so much. I'll continue with the comments. I have okay, so Kofi Ketia says, God bless you, Lady D and Deacon Henne, for this wonderful discussion. Can you elaborate on max funding your policy? Secondly, is it better to put more money towards max funding or getting another one?
Okay. All right. So when we talk about max funded policy, so any policy that that is a permanent policy allows you to put more money in, and this is an IRS regulation. So we call it the 7-pay concept. So the max funded policy is something that is a policy that you are paying the maximum, or you're paying more than what you are not paying the minimum. You're just paying the maximum amount. So max funded policy. Now, sometimes it all depends on what do you want the policy to do for you. Let's say I want to use the policy as an investment policy or as an investment portfolio. Then what I would advise is you take a smaller amount of policy insurance and you put more money into the policy. So just like you taking a smaller amount of Milo into a cup and you add more sugar, then it's going to be it's going to be nice. So that is what it is. So you take a smaller and then you put more money in. Now, so you are asking, is it better for you to max fund a policy or you get a different policy? Here is the thing that I will tell you. If the first policy that you have does not have more insurance, maybe let's say you have $100,000 policy, you can max fund that policy. But every insurance policy, because of IRS regulation, has a guideline on how much you can put in. So if you buy insurance policy that is small, the amount you can put in is going to be small. So let's say you buy insurance policy that you can put in the whole year, you can put in, let's say, $7,000. That is the maximum. That is a 7-pay. The maximum IRS can let you walk away with $7,000. If you decided you want to put in, let's say, $15,000, you cannot do that. What do you have to do? You have two options. You can either increase that insurance or you can buy a different policy. Now, why do you get a different policy? Maybe the one that you have here, the interest rate that you are getting, maybe you get a different company that is going to give you a higher interest rate. Or maybe the benefit that is on the first one, there is another policy that will give you extra benefit. Then you got to consider and see, okay, which one must I get? But if you have the right amount of coverage, the right amount of interest rate that you are getting, then you have it already. I will recommend you max fund the one that you have already. Why? Because maybe you have that one in place maybe 3-4 years ago. 3-4 years ago, you were what? You were 45 years. But right now, maybe you are close to 50 years. Now your age has changed. Because you're going to get a new policy, they're going to look at your new age, your new medication, and everything. And maybe it's going to make it cost more expensive. So if the benefit and everything is good, I will recommend you max fund the old one. And if it is designed properly, it's better you max fund the old one than getting a new policy. But as I said, if you think the benefit is it's not up to par with the new one, I highly recommend you get a different one. I highly recommend. And the word with me, I like to diversify my portfolio. I don't want to get all my money to one company. I like to give some money here, put some money here, put some money there, put some money there. So yes, if you want to get a different one and max fund that one or max fund this one, that is really what? That is really okay. But a max funded IUL or max funded whole life or a permanent policy is something that you're putting the maximum that is allowed by IRS into that account.
Thank you so much. So before I take Amasewa's question, I want to ask, I feel like all these policies and companies, it can be overwhelming. For me, it's like now, even having to change your password. The bank wants you to change up. You have a bank here, you have one there, you have this, you are signed on to this computer, you have to write many passwords. It gets confusing.
Yes.
So I just want to find out, with all these different policies here and there, I mean, who monitors them? Won't I forget? If let's say one person, you have about 5 different policies, how do you streamline all these policies, and how do you not even forget? You have to inform your family members that, hey, by the way, I have this, and that, or how does that work?
Yes, so that is awesome. So anybody that have life insurance in place, and is one thinking about is someone that love himself, someone that love the family, and someone that is have a vision of building wealth. That is the concept, because that is a way of what protecting yourself and be able to build wealth, generational wealth. Now, what I would advise is, sometimes, as you said, you have it here, and it become a little bit hard for you to track everything. That is where you need to get one centralized area that is called a trust. So one centralized location that have everything in there. So if I open up my trust, I have the policy from this company. I have the policy from this company. My wife have access to the trust. I'm not going to sit down and tell my wife I have a life insurance. So she's aware. It's there. It's right there. It's in the trust. And then we sit down, we define the trust. Okay, what should the trust do? God forbid we are not there. Because sometimes most people will get a life insurance. They just get a paper copy, and then they move from one apartment to another apartment. They lose it. What if you get a trust, or maybe something, a will or anything, and then put everything in there? So if you want to build wealth, this is what I would advise. Get a trust. Put your business in the trust. Put everything that you have, put it in the trust. That is what is going to protect you. One day when you pass away, that is what is going to protect you, so that all the things that you want to do, the trust will be able to make sure that they do it. So if you have a lot of products in place, get a trust and put everything. So when you open up your trust, you see everything there. You see everything. So yes, there is one need for you to get all this account, 401k, 403b, IRA, stocks, and other things in place. But if you get a trust, it allows you to be able to set up your laws and your rules and your regulation as the king or as a queen, setting your laws in that kingdom. So that one day, if you are not there, we know who is going to take what. Who is this one going to go to? So I highly recommend that you get a trust in place. And sometimes people, because we don't know the information, remember I said the information is the only thing that changes every situation. If you want to, let's say you want to get information about a trust, you don't have to pay for it. Yes. So sometimes people, okay, I have to go sit down with an attorney and I have to pay for that. No, it's free. If you are interested, just reach out to me. I will get you an attorney that is going to sit down with you and share information with you about wills and trust and answer all the questions, and you don't pay anything. And then you decide to make your decision whether you want to move on to get a trust or not. And then the attorney will help you. So definitely trust is something, especially people, immigrants that we are here. We come from somewhere. God forbid you are no more. You need a trust. Somebody said, well, I have a will. No, a will is different. You need a trust. A will is just a statement, but a trust protects everything that you have. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not going to say too much about that. But you just need one centralized location that you're going to protect everything. If you have a life insurance is already protected. Nothing is going to happen to it. But if you have one centralized location where you put all of your things, your savings, your business, your house, everything is put in that place. And then you have the key to it. you have the password to it. You have a lawyer that is in charge of that. It helps. It makes everything very easier for you.
All right, thank you. So maybe, unless maybe I'm overthinking, right?
Mm-hmm.
So with this trust thing you're talking about, who do you appoint someone to be in charge of the trust, or God forbid you have a trust and then you die, or you and your wife die at the same time? How would whoever is in charge of the trust know that you guys are no more? Or if you are doing this trust, do you tell your children that, hey, we have a trust, it's with this attorney? Or how does that work?
Yeah, so that is a very good question, but it's more so of an attorney question. But I will say a little bit that I know about it. So when you set up a trust, you put a trustees in there. So it's going to get filed with an attorney that is going to be in charge of that, managing everything, make sure you do everything right, and then everything is done. But you're going to have a trustees in there. So the trustees are people that you trust, that God forbid you are not there, they will be able to come and follow up and say, okay, this is what daddy or mommy want us to do with this money. And then we're going to make sure that that money is get done. Because this is a legal bound document that is in there. So if the trustee is not doing what they're supposed to do, they are liable to go to court. So yeah, so the lawyer is aware, the attorney is aware, and then so when it comes to finances, it shouldn't be something that we try to hide it. That's one of the things that happen. We try to hide everything. I have a life insurance. Don't tell my wife that I have life insurance. Just so agent, you're going to do insurance for somebody. The husband says, don't tell my wife that I have life insurance. The wife says, don't tell my husband that I have life insurance. They're trying to hide it. And then at the end of the day, the children are not aware. This is a comprehensive thing that we have to do. The children have to be there. They have to know it. That mom have life insurance. Dad have life insurance. And this is how much they have. This is where it is. As they are growing up, we have to incorporate them into all this, because this is a comprehensive financial plan. It's a family plan legacy that we are building. And it shouldn't be what? It shouldn't be just one person trying to hide it and trying to do it for any reason. We have to be what? A collective effort. So that is why if you look at people that build wealth, what do? The father will start with life insurance. The wife will get some. The children will get it. Everybody have life insurance in their family. So they know the importance. Okay, if we are going to get our stocks, you have it, I get my stock, you also get your stock. When the children are growing up, we are what? We are incorporating them into these things of what? Into what? Finances. So it shouldn't be something that is a secret. It shouldn't be a secret. And then sometimes we don't talk about it at all. We just hide it. No, we have to let them know, hey, just like the same way we meet every year and then we go to every New Year resolution. Okay, we say now, okay, how is everything doing? Okay, how about the life insurance? Are we making payment? Do we have some cash value in there? How is it going? Are we ready to take another policy, or we think we're good? So these are the things that we have to sit down and talk about, because this is something that you are planning today is something that is going to make changes in the next generation. And the better you let the children and everybody in the family get to understand it, the better.
Wow. Thank you so much, Deacon. I am very, very grateful for all this knowledge you're sharing with us. I was just staying here in the studio with the team that, personally, I thought this whole trust thing, the only time I will hear about trust is in movies, and I think recently from a lot of these Nigerians, and I'm talking about very, very rich people, so in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, trust is for billionaires, the ordinary person cannot think about trust or anything like that. So I really appreciate this, and
Yes.
I'm
Let
sure.
me say one more thing about trust. So research has shown that. So let's say now that you are working, you are building wealth, you are trying to build wealth. You work hard, and build your wealth. Maybe you left behind. God forbid I passed away. I left behind maybe $2, $3, $5, $6, $10 million behind. If I give that $10 million to my children, let's say they pay the money to them, cash, how many years do you think that 10 million is going to last? Yeah, maybe 2 years or maybe 1 year. because they're going to buy those Ferraris, they're going to buy these nice cars, and then they'll be driving, and then within the matter of 1-2 years, everything is gone. So the wealth that I spent 20-30 years of my life to build, the child just used 1 year to squander everything, destroy everything. So what do? You get a trust, and you put all your life insurance in that trust, and you do something that is called maybe family maintenance. If I passed away right now, my wife have to pay the bills. So every year, write them $100,000 a check. When my children are going to go to college, they can come and take money from that account. When the children grow up and they want to start a business, only business, or if they don't want to buy their house, they can come and take money from this account to go and what? As a down payment. But they have to pay it back with no interest. If the child wants $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000, or $100,000, or maybe $200,000 loan, don't let the child go to the bank. Let them come to the trust and take the money out. But they have to pay it back with no interest. So that way, that money keeps staying there, and it keeps staying there. And then you have a rules around it that, hey, if anybody that will come and take money from that account must also have a life insurance that is part of that trust. What does that mean? That means when daddy dies and the money rolls into that trust, when mommy dies, mommy's insurance is also going to roll into the trust. When my child dies, my child insurance is going to roll into that trust. It's not going to go to anybody's husband and wife and they're going to use the money. It's going to come into the trust. But everybody that is within that lineage, everybody that has that bloodline, the Hines bloodline, the Dores bloodline, the Jones bloodline, they're able to come and access that money. But there is a regulation that is attached to it. You have to pay it back. Why are you doing? You're doing that so that you can what? Conserve and preserve that money for the next generation and the next generation and the next generation that will come to come and have access to the same money. Other than that, you pay the money to them, they will use it 1 month, everything is gone. They use all the money. But it takes you 20 years to do that.
Thank you so much. Now it's making a lot of sense. Because recently I had read an article about an old man that had died, and I think the trust fund was that the wife would have access to it. I guess he married a younger person. But the moment she marries, it ceases. And I was like, that's wickedness, But then, someone was explaining that, hey, otherwise the new husband will take the money and then what, So, I mean, thank God we have these trust funds that can help and even help the next generations that are to come. So, thank you for explaining that. Amasewa says, thank you for educating us. What type of living benefit insurance would you recommend as a basic for start? Example, educational or life or mortgage, or if the money is not money, that's if the budget is not budgeted.
Yeah, so that's very good, Amasewa. If the budget is not budgeting, what I would say is, as I said from the beginning, our generation, when we are planning life, we are not planning for death, we are planning for life. So I don't want to sit down with you and plan for your death. I was very sad when I had a meeting with one lady in Alabama, and somebody sat down with the lady and then gave the child a burial insurance. Not even the mom, the child, burial insurance. I was like, what were you thinking to give somebody a child burial insurance that when the child died, we used to bury the child? And I sat down with the mom and then I go through things. I was like, when do you want to bury the child? I say, what do you mean? But you have burial insurance in place. So these are some of the things that we have. So when we talk about living benefit, I'm talking about, we're looking at things that when you are alive. So remember, the condition that you give me there is that the money is not money in. The budget is not budgeting. So that time, we are not looking into what? Be able to have you put more money into the account to be able to go and withdraw money to make you a millionaire that time. We just want to protect you. What do I mean? We give you a life insurance that has living benefit. That means, God forbid, when you get sick, you are protected. heart attack, stroke, cancer, diabetes, you are protected. And then we get it for maybe for the next 10 or 15 or 20 years. Whilst things are getting better, we convert that term policy to a permanent policy for you. Now, the reason we do that is that it helps you to lock in your health rate. Remember the leader I was talking about that I did a policy and she didn't take it? Even if she should have taken a term policy for maybe 10 years, the following year, we could have converted to a permanent policy for her. Because she already qualified for it, she doesn't have to do application again. And the health is going to be the same. Nothing is going to change. So whilst you are waiting, I have a friend that is going to medical school. He said, Isaac, things are not working right. I'm paying bills. I'm going to medical school. Just give me the next 10 years, I'll finish medical school. But you give me 20 years. 20 years but I want the one that has the living benefit. Because if I'm driving to school, I'm doing everything right. I'm doing everything. I'm not on my phone. But a drunk driver ran the red light and then hit you, bam, and then you don't make it. You don't die, but now you are disabled. What is going to happen? If you have a life insurance that has living benefit, because you are still alive, it pays you money. So that is why when you are trying to get the budget to budgeting, you need a life insurance that has living benefit. Because sickness is not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. And then this is the biggest question that is why when you are getting life, you have to get a life insurance with living benefit. Here is the biggest question to all the audience and people that are watching us. If today is the last day that you're going to go to, everybody's going to go to work. So no work for everybody. We are all done, no work. We are all going to depend on our savings to pay our mortgage, to feed the children, to pay the car note, to do everything. We're going to base on our savings. Now, let's post in the chat, how many of us will be able to live for the next 2 years on that savings? Or just post how many months is that going to last? Not so long. Not so long. But what if the reason why you cannot go to work is because now you are sick? You get a heart attack, you get a stroke, you get cancer. You have to go through dialysis. Some of these things happen. You get major organ transplant. And you have to what? Now the issue is that you are sick and it's going to make it more worse. So, but what if you have a life insurance that when you get sick, you'll be able to come and access some of the money? You know, when people get sickness like heart attack, stroke, cancer, they don't just die because of the sickness. Cancer don't kill people like that. But imagine you as a breadwinner, you having a cancer, you cannot go to work, and your family cannot live the same way they're living. How is that going to take a toll on you? So it's not the cancer that will kill you. It is the financial stress that comes with the sickness that will kill you. So many people died not because of what? When COVID-19 came, many people died not from COVID-19, but people died from what? From the fear, just the fear alone, they die. So the stress alone that is attached to you, and then the financial burden. Just imagine you being that guy, you are the provider. You provide for your wife, you provide for the children, you're providing for your family in Africa, and all of a sudden you cannot do that again. Now you are a burden to them. So that is why when the budget is not budgeting, get something in place. Because when the wealthy people, when they are planning for their wealth, this is what they do. When they become sick, they will build wealth. So I must say, whilst you are now budgeting the budget, if you become sick, you become wealthy. Whilst you are in the process of getting the budget in place, if you become disabled, you become wealthy. Legally, morally, and ethically. Whilst you are in the process of budgeting the budget, if you passed away, your family become wealthy. That is how the wealthy people plan their life. When they become sick, they will become wealthy. So maybe whilst you are now budgeting, you are building some houses in Africa, you are doing some project, you want to go into real estate investment, but still you cannot do it because the budget is not budgeting. But in the process of those stress that you're going through, in the process of you working the 2 jobs, and you get sick, what happened? All your vision is just what? It's just gone down the drain. But what if you can get something in place that when you get sick, it's going to make you more richer than when you were before? Let me say this and I'll turn it back to you, Mama Dora. Look at this. You work and you get paid. You work so much that you're going to get sick. But here is the question. When you get sick from working, do you get paid? No, you don't. That is how the wealthy people plan differently. Many people will say, hey, Isaac, do you know what? My company have a good disability, so I'm good with disability. I'm not talking about disability here. I'm talking about life insurance with living benefit that replaces 100% of your income or more. Take a look at this. Right now, if you let's say you get sick and you're on disability, if you're making $10,000 a month and you're on disability, how much do you think the disability will pay you? About 50% or 60%. But take a look at this. When you were making $10,000, how was life? Life was still hard. You were living paycheck to paycheck to paycheck. Now you're making 5,000. How is life going to look like? Life is going to look extremely difficult. That is why when something happened to someone in our community, they get sick, the family is going down. They become disabled, their family is going down. They pass away, it's a GoFundMe. But in the elite community, when somebody gets sick, they become rich. When somebody becomes disabled, they become rich. When somebody passed away, it's hallelujah, praise the Lord. So death, for Christians, death is just a benefit for us. So when somebody passed away, we have to benefit. We have to rejoice. And as you are rejoicing, Daddy should have planned a house on a solid rock that is going to take the next generation to a higher height. So I'll pass it back to you, Love Mommy.
Hallelujah. Yeah. It felt like you're preaching. Thank you. Okay, so Susanna Amos says, God bless you for sharing such valuable insight. Gaining financial wisdom helps us reduce stress, and it frees us to better serve God and those around us. Absolutely. He says, when it comes to getting multiple life insurances, must it be from different companies or even through different brokers? Oh.
Yes, so that's so I'm going to start from the companies first. Yes, so we need to diversify the portfolio. You need to diversify your accounts. So I do not want to give so if I want to get a different life insurance, I'm not going to get it from the same company. I'm going to get a different company. So my first life insurance is through a different company. My second one is through a different. My third one is through a different company. I'm not going to get it from one company. Why? Because every company is different. Now, when it comes to the brokers, if you trust the person that you work with, then definitely you can just work with one person. Say, hey, we just get a first one. What do you have on the table again? Now, unfortunately, if that person does not have anything on the table again and they try to get you the same thing from that company, then you say, okay, that is okay. I'll advise you get a different person. So definitely, yes. If you can, it's just like having a doctor. If one doctor tells you you have cancer, there is a need for a second opinion. Even what do you call it? The health insurance company, they have that concept. There is a need for second opinion. And sometimes you need to also hear from other person and say, okay, what do you have? How are you going to explain this to me? To make a different one from a different angle, from a different dimension, so for you to understand. So yes, number one, yes, you need it from different company, not from one company. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Diversify the portfolio. Different companies. Just like the same way you have your savings account, you have your checking, you have your 401k, IRA stocks, different areas. When it comes to your life insurance, don't get it from one company. Get it from different companies. And for the broker, that one, I'll leave that one to you. You just have to come from your own discretion. If you think that person is more knowledgeable and they have different companies, because not every agent has different companies. Some of them have only one company. And maybe some of them also, they are comfortable with only one company and they want to do that company alone. So if you want to go to different company and that person doesn't want to go to that company, they want to stay with the same company, then I think it's about time we move forward.
Right. Thank you so much. Answer. Kofi says, is it possible to qualify for a life insurance and then when you want to get another one, you do not qualify?
Yes. So that is a very good question, Brother Kofi. So you qualify for one last year or maybe 2-3 years ago. But today, you want to go qualify, you're going to go get another account. Remember, we're going to start a new application. We're going to go through the same qualification process again. You're going to pull out your driving record. You're going to pull your medication. They're going to pull your criminal history. So if something has changed, detrimentally, it's going to affect you. So let's say you didn't have any driver license suspension, or you didn't have any DUI 2 years ago. So you qualify for the account. But this year, unfortunately, you get a DUI. Now you put in the application, the insurance company says, no, you get a DUI. We don't want to accept that risk. Or maybe, let me give you a typical example. Maybe when you were getting the account, the job, do you know that even some people can get declined for the job that they do? Yes. So the more risky you are, so maybe last 2 years you're getting the policy, you were working as an IT guy. But today, you are that guy that uses the motor for racing. You are racing motor, you are racing cars. Or you are in boxing. Now the insurance company think, no, this guy. No, you become more of a liability to them, so they get to decline. So yes, everything can change. Everything can change. So change is the only constant in life. That is why when you go to the doctor. So I get it all the time. Oh, I just had a CT scan done 2 days ago. 2 days is a long time. Something can happen. We got to do it again. So they do the CT scan and then something has changed. Now you are getting blame breed. Things are going on in your brain that was not there 2 days ago. So yes, Brother Kofi, you can qualify for yesterday, but today we put it in, something has changed. Then you don't qualify. It happens all the time.
Thank you so much. I guess if that happens, the one that you have, just go put more money in there, and then
Yes.
you're good. Esther Bankson says, if you qualify initially, could there be an instance where you get disqualified? Okay, so like policy canceled when an unfortunate situation like bad driving, medical or criminal happens. So like let's say you've already qualified, you're already insured, right? And then something happens, you get into bad driving or a criminal's activity. Can the first one be nullified?
No. So once you get the life insurance, so in a life insurance concept, all the application that you are submitting, the question that you are answering, yes or no, do you smoke? What is your height? What is your weight? Do you drink? And everybody saying no to all those questions. Insurance company call those questions, they are called representations. They can be true, they can be false. So they don't believe in all those answers. That is why when you submit application to them, they also have to what? So they don't take all your information as to be true. Some of them are false, because sometimes you sit down with somebody, you ask them, how tall are you? I'm 5'5". How what is your weight? I'm 150. But you put that person on the scale, this person is like 200 and something pounds. Do you smoke? No. Do you drink? No. So all these things, they are false. Now, when you get a life insurance policy, there is something that is called incontestable period. Incontestable period is the first 2 years of the insurance policy. So the first 2 years, the insurance policy is contestable. That is a different topic. That is the first 2 years, the insurance policy is a contestable policy. That means if the person should die within the first 2 years, the insurance company has the right to go and do investigation about the death. Now, after the 2 years, the policy becomes incontestable. That means whatever happens to the person, the insurance company cannot do any investigation, and they cannot deny the claim. They have to pay. Now, if I understand the question that Esther was asking, I think this is what she wanted to find out. Let's say somebody have a policy, and then they stop making payment, and then the policy close. Now, are they able to bring the policy back? Yes, you can do that. So let's say I have a policy that I was making payment into it, then I stopped making payment into the policy, and then the policy has closed. But now I reach out to another agent, we try to put in an application, and then I show up that, oh, now I have bad driving, I have medical, I have criminal history, so I get declined. I can reach out to the other agent and say, hey, I want to resurrect the old policy. I want to bring it back. I want to resurrect that policy. I want to bring that policy back to life. It's called reinstatement. Now, it has to be less than 3 years. So if that policy has closed, but it's not been less than 3 years, you can bring it back. Some of the states allow more than that, but most of the states is 3 years. Now, if you are bringing it back, this is what is going to happen. The insurance company is going to say you have not paid your premium for the past 15 months. In order for us to give it to you, you have to pay back all the 15 months before we give it to you. So you stop paying 15 months ago or 2 years ago, you have not making payment. If you want to bring it back, it's called reinstate. Yeah, you can do that. So if somebody got declined because of bad driving, but they have a policy that is canceled, they can go and bring that policy back. But that policy should not be more than 3 years. Okay.
So Amasewa says, for the medical record, can they access service members' record?
Yes. Yes, so they can. I have a lot of clients, and the military folks they are the one that are if I have to focus on any population, they will be the one that I'll focus on. Because when you are in, it's a different ballgame. When you get out, it's a different ballgame. Now, at first I was thinking that they couldn't, but now they can. So sometimes I submit application and they want to reach out. I have a client right now in Portsmouth. I submit a policy for. They are going to the military to get the client's medical record. Yeah, so they are reaching out to the Navy, the military treatment facility to go get the medical record. Now, some of these things, sometimes you think it's classified. No, it's not classified like that. What it is some of these medications that you are taking, you fill them from CVS and Walmart. So all these things here is what? It's something that is populated. So yes, they can access what? And I have a lot of people, even VA. Yes, I have a lot of people that are with VA. The insurance company will reach out to VA and they will get your medical records. They will pull it up. If they don't receive it, they decline the policy. If they don't receive it, I had one policy. The policy was there for 6 months. We were still chasing. The insurance company will not make any decision until they receive that document from what? The VA doctor. And if they don't receive it, they don't make any decision. If the time has come and they don't receive it, they just close the policy and decline it. Yes. So yes, they can access service member record.
Thank you. And Jacob says, his question is, I did some, that is insurance, with my family, but the agent really lied to us and did some research. So he did some research and found out that things were not right. So I called the company without passing through my agent. And then she got to know I have known everything and want to withdraw my money, which she said I can withdraw. And the company told him that he cannot. What should he do now? Oh, well, I mean, he's mentioned their name. He says he can't hide it because we're Trans-American.
Yes.
But I guess the agent said he could, and now they say he can't.
So that's a long question though. But so Mr. Jacob, I am very sorry about that, and I'm not ignorant that some information that goes on, and then some agents are not doing their due diligence to be able to explain the concept to the people. So with me, whenever I sit down with you, I let you know this is a life insurance account, and then I explain the benefit that is in there and what you can use it for. That is why anytime I let the community know, hey, these are the 3 ways you can grow your money. You can grow your money in the fixed, variable, or index. You have the fixed already. You have your bank, saving, checking. You have your 401k, IRA, and other things. This is something extra that you're going to add to it. So it's rather unfortunate that, and I'm not ignorant that, hey, there are people out there that are telling you what is not. It's called misrepresentation. So they're just telling you what it is not, and then they're just telling you what it cannot do. Sometimes also it's not that I'm not going to blame the agents too much. Sometimes also we do our part to explain the concept, but the person is too busy and they don't even have time to listen to the information, and then they get their hopes up here. So while everything that you told them, They just pick only one aspect of it, and then that is it. So, and then they put their hopes up here, and then if it doesn't perform the way they want it, then they will come back and say, oh, you lied to them. So yes, agents, we blame ourselves for that, and I take that blame. That is why we have to do our due diligence to sit down with. So sometimes I get somebody say, hey, I want to get a life insurance. Can you put in an application for me? No, ma'am. No, sir, I'm not doing that. If we don't sit down to share the information with you and answer all your questions and make sure this is the right portfolio for you, I'm not doing it for you. Oh, can you just save me time and then just put in the application? I don't need all this long talk. Yes, sir, you need that long talk. Because if you don't understand it tomorrow, you're going to come and say, oh, he didn't explain it to me, and then the policy is not what I was looking for. Yes, because you are in a rush, you get a rush account, and then now you come back and say what? Oh, I go did my research. So definitely, agents, we did our part. Policy will also what? We also have to do our part. So sometimes we need to what? Get that time to be able to sit down and ask all the questions. Ask all your questions. That is it. So with me, when I sit down with someone to get a policy, we do a first meeting, we do a second meeting, and then maybe the third meeting, or maybe the second meeting, that's when I put in an application for you. But I give you the information, go and sleep on it. Because when you go and you are thinking about, that's when you get more questions. When you come with more questions and answer all the questions, then we are done. You make your decision. So that is it. So Mr. Jacob, is rather unfortunate, but if you have canceled it, I don't know how it was designed. So if you don't have a life insurance, that's what I say is definitely you need a life insurance. So you cannot be mad with that agent and say, okay, because of this agent did this to me, I'm never going to get life insurance, and then you're going to put yourself and your family at risk. If something should happen to you, that agent that did it for you, when you set up a GoFundMe, he will give you $20 or $10. He doesn't care. So you, as the provider, you have to protect your family. So the same way when your car knock you down, you will get this nice car that will come with all the siren, will come and pick you to the emergency room. When you get knocked down by a car, it's the same car that will come and pick you up, right? So you just need to sit down with someone that will be able to explain more to you and get you something that you're looking for.
Thank you so much. And Deacon Jacob, I will recommend once we are done, Deacon Henna will put his contact information because I know he shared this with me way back. His situation is very unfortunate, and I think maybe if you get to sit down with him, it will make more sense because I know that there's more to it. He has a window. The policy is not totally closed yet. So if you can get a chance to sit with him, that would be great. So once we are done, you share your information once again, and I'm pretty sure we'll take it from here. I must say, some people hide because sometimes people get greedy.
Right.
My everybody says, oh, okay, it's good. That's good. Esther says, what is the qualification for setting up a trust? Is there any? Do you need any qualification before you can set up a trust?
Not that I can think about. So there's no qualification. Anyone can set up a trust as long as you are of the legal age and you have an asset that can go into the trust. So you cannot just go and have a trust, set up a trust, and you have nothing in the trust. So you have to have things. Okay, I have a savings account, I have a 401k, I have a stock, I have a house, I have a business, I have life insurance. So I need a trust. So you cannot just go and set up a trust and there is nothing in the trust, an empty trust. So you don't have to have set up. And so the only thing that you qualify for is you just get ready, talk to an attorney, and then the attorney will sit down with you and explain it to you, and then get you going. So pretty easy. And there is no age limit. I don't know. Maybe as long as you are legal age, you should be able to set up your own trust.
So does it matter if you are a green card holder or you have a citizenship or you're a student? Does
No.
it matter? Okay.
No. So yes, as long as you are legal in the United States and you should be able to get a trust. So you sit down with a lawyer and then they'll be able to, because most of these things, they're going to require your document like your social and then other things. What makes you legal here? Because it's going to go through the system. They're going to file it at their office, and they're going to send a notary to come and notarize everything for you, and other things. So even if you're not a citizen, you can file, you can get a trust, because the reason why we need a trust is because you are not from here, and God forbid you are no more. The way things are handling is different from those that are from here. So that is why you need a trust. Those of us that are not from here, we need a trust. We are the one that need a trust. But unfortunately, we are the one that run away. We don't do it.
And thank you for sharing that, especially with, like you rightly said, immigrants, because last week we were given examples that someone can travel outside of the country, go to Ghana and never come back. Then what happens to your assets? So thank you so much for sharing that. Jennifer says, does an insurance agent or lawyer oversee the money to be taken from the trust? And sorry if you said this, does the trust happen when we die, or we can start putting money from life insurance? I think you answered, but if you can please go over it again.
Does the trust happen when we die? Okay, so does the insurance agent or the lawyer oversee? So it's not the insurance agent. So most of my clients that I help them set up insurance, and then I help them set up a trust. My responsibility as an agent is to connect them with a lawyer. And the advantage there is that you are able to sit down. I'm able to let my clients sit down with a lawyer at no charge, at no cost. So, but remember, if you have to go sit down with a lawyer, they're going to charge you. It's not free. But my agent relationship with a lawyer, I say, hey, this is my client. Sit down with the client 1 hour or 45 minutes, explain everything to them, and then and be able to answer all their questions. Now, if the client want to move on to get a trust, I am not an attorney. I'm not a lawyer. I don't deal with trust. So who is going to be in charge of that? It is going to be the lawyer who is in charge of that, to be able to do that for the client. So no, in that concept, the agent does not come in. The agent does not come in at all. So it's between you and the lawyer and whoever you put in there as a trustee.
And the trust, the trust comes in. She's asking when a person dies, or when we start putting money from life insurance. So I think you said that whatever assets you have, you can put them all in the trust. So she's asking, does it kick in when one dies?
Yes, so that is the whole benefit of the trust. So when you are alive, the trust is there. So if you have the trust, and some people also go to the extent that they name the trust as as the owner of the life insurance, and that is going to be a different topic altogether. So the insurance is not for me; it's for the trust. Or maybe this account, the business is not for me; the business is for the trust. So that is what the wealthy people do. They own everything, but nothing is in their name. So you cannot take them to court to take anything from them. It's not for them. It's for the trust. So they get to walk away with everything. They don't pay taxes because it's not for them. It's for the trust. You want to go and charge the trust? Go ahead. You want to take the trust to court? Go ahead. You want to ask the trust to pay taxes? Go ahead. It's not for me. It's for the trust. So that is a different topic that you can discuss with your lawyer and get more information about it. But there are so many information that you have to go dig in to learn. So that is so if you look at this one here with a trust, the concept for the trust is that it prevents you from your asset to go through probate when you passed away. So when you are alive, if the life insurance has living benefit, everything stays the same. If you have a 401k, you want to go and borrow money from it, everything stays the same. If you have a business that is in the trust, all the benefit, all the ups and downs, everything that is in the business stays the same. So nothing changes. So if it's a life insurance, you want to take money from it, you can take money from it whilst you are alive. Now, when the trust comes in handy, and more important, is when the person passed away. And there is something that is called probate that will come up. That is when the trust will say, hey, I have protected this asset and nobody can touch it. Yeah, so whilst you are alive, you can do the same thing. Put money into the life insurance, take money from it, do everything with it. Whatever asset that you have in the trust, you'll be able to access it as normal, but it comes in handy when things like maybe court. So it's not, let me say, it's not even when you die. When you die, so when you will die is one aspect. But when you are alive and then there is a court case against you, when you get sued, when somebody sue you for your asset, because all these things are in the trust, they are protected. That is another thing. So that is why many people have a trust. It protects them from lawsuit. It protects them from lawsuit.
Thank you so much. Ooh, I am really learning. Thank you. Gordon says, we are already waiting for next month's pay. Esther says, I'm not sure if this already has been mentioned, but at what point can you start taking from the living benefit if the unfortunate happens? Is it dependent on how long you've made payments towards your policy?
That's a very good question. So thank you very much, Esther, for that question. So life insurance is not health insurance. In a health insurance concept, there is something that is called elimination period. So sometimes when you have a policy, you have to wait a certain number of days before you can take advantage of it. In a life insurance concept, if I get a policy today and I make my payment today, and tomorrow I get sick, the unfortunate happens, as you call it, you qualify to get your living benefit. So if I make a payment today and then next week I get diagnosed with cancer, I qualify for that. I get sick, heart attack, stroke, cancer, anything that happens to me, as long as it didn't happen prior to me getting the policy, of course, if it is there, the insurance company will not give it to you. So once they approve it for you, and then a month later, 2 weeks later, 1 hour later, 2 hours later, the unfortunate event happens to you, you qualified. You are covered. It's just like having a car insurance. You can buy a car right now, put insurance on it. As soon as you drive it from the parking lot at a T-junction, boom, into the accident. The moment you have paid your first payment, the car is completely covered. That is how. So it's not like health insurance that you have to wait. In a health insurance, we have a time deductible. It's not like that in life insurance.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Jennifer says, in the elite community, they drink coffee at the funeral. No tear inside. No kidding. No. Now it all makes sense. Yeah. And Bridget says, Deacon Isaac, may you live long. Amen. So question, apart from illness, death, and retirement, if I lose my job, can I get paid for the times that I will be without a paycheck?
That's a very good question. So life insurance has something that is called rider. So just like the actual tree, the tree that is there, it has branches. So when you are buying the policy, you have to add different branches. But remember, whatever you are attached to it, you have to pay. So most of these things you have to pay for them. The fortunate thing is that some of the insurance companies, when it comes to the living benefit aspect, they give it to you for free. You don't pay extra for it. So the cost of insurance cover for that. Now, the more you desire to add more things, the more you're going to pay. So yes, there is a rider that is called income replacement. It's just like you having a disability at a job. So when you lose your income, the insurance company will be able to replace your income for losing your job. But you have to add it to the policy as a rider and pay extra for that. You have to add it and pay extra. So there are so many riders, but every rider comes with a cost. Everywhere. So most of us, we get it from the job. So if I lose my income, there is a disability insurance at the job. So I get that. So if I sit down with a person and have disability insurance at their job, I don't duplicate it here. Because if I duplicate it here, they're going to pay more. So I don't want to make the cost higher. Unless the person say, I want to pay for it, then we add it. Yes.
That's very interesting. I guess now that it looks like there's insurance for everything. You can even say, I sing. I want to protect my vocal cords. Because from the way things are going, it looks like everything can be covered. Jennifer says, Another reason to talk to our kids that some of their actions can follow them, even with life insurance. I never knew about DUI. I was going to say D. About DUI, criminal records being an issue. Same here, I never knew that. This is the first time I'm hearing that. Amasawa says, can you transfer from one insurance company to another?
Yes, you can. But as a financial professional, I don't. It's not one thing that I like doing, and it has so many reasons. Yes, so you can. So let's say you have a policy with company A. You want to move that policy to company B because of either benefit or maybe the cost or the pricing. You can do that. It's called replacement. Now, if it is a policy that have money in that account, if the policy have money, they have cash value. Now you have to look at the times, what time are you doing that? Sometimes if you're doing it and if you're moving it from one company to another, the person is going to lose some money. So maybe I have $15,000 sitting in this account, but because I've not kept the policy for too long, there's something that is called surrender charges. If I want to move the policy to a new company, I'm going to lose some of the money. Then you have to discuss with the client and say, hey, if we do this at this time, you're going to lose this amount of money. I'm not going to do that for you. So, but some agents, the moment they say, I want to move my policy, oh, let's do it. And then they go ahead and move the policy. Now you got to sit down and you got to do things, because I have one of the pastors in the church. I sat down with him. He had a policy that he had for 8 years. And when I discussed with him all this, and he didn't like the policy. The way the policy was designed was not good. I must tell you. I was like, what was this agent thinking? It's not good. So he's like, Isaac, can I transfer it to another policy? I was like, I'm not going to advise our pastor. This is two things that I'm going. The policy has been there for 8 years. 8 years. If we have to transfer it to a new policy, we're going to start all over again. Now the policy is going to be like, it's a baby policy. You have to go through all the what do you call it? The surrender charges period again, and all the incontestable period again, and the waiting amount that you have to wait before you can take money out of it. Everything is going to start again. So the only thing we can do is we can keep that policy and let's get you a new policy. Yeah, so definitely, yes, you can transfer to another policy, but you have to look at the pros and the cons. You have to weigh the difference and see how it's going to affect you. Yes.
Thank you. Jacob says, I asked a lot of questions, sir, but she hid the truth. That's very, very.
Yes, that is better.
Yeah, and Sister Ivy says, if I previously had a life insurance policy that I surrendered and withdrew the cash value from, then closed out the account, is it possible to reinstate the policy?
No. So with that one, so you close the policy yourself. So you close it yourself. You took out the money out and you close the policy. So that is intentional. You did it intentionally and you close the policy. So that policy, that door is closed. The only way you can reinstate your policy is that you stop making payment. So you stop making payment to the policy, and then the policy close without you paying it. But when you call the insurance company and you take money out of it and you close the policy, that is intentional act. So you cannot go and bring that policy back again. You have to start a new one. Yeah. So you withdraw cash value and then you close the policy out yourself there. Yes, you have closed it. The insurance company cannot reincarnate that policy.
I like that. They can reincarnate that policy. Thank you so much. First Lady Sandra Asari says, thank you so much for this needed topic. God bless you. God bless you as well. And Jennifer says, oh, okay. So remember last week you mentioned they come for our debt from our life insurance when we die. So are you saying with a trust, the government can't touch it or use it to pay our debt?
Yes. So the way life insurance is built, so even if you don't have a trust and you have a life insurance and you have a debt, so if you have a debt and you passed away, remember that debt is not just going to disappear. You have to settle it. That is where the concept of probate comes in and frees all your assets. But if you have a life insurance, the life, even if it's not in a trust, the life insurance alone as a tax code prevents you from what? From that money going through what? Probate. So your checking, savings, CD, 401k, and other things that you have in place can be tied up into probate. But the life insurance cannot be touched. Nobody can touch it. So in essence, the way life insurance was created by itself is a trust by itself. So if you put a life insurance in a trust again, it's just like you put in layers upon layers upon layers. Protection upon protection. So life insurance is a trust by itself. If you put it in a trust, then you are giving about second degree what? Second degree protection. So yes, if you have a life insurance and God forbid you are no more, that money, nobody can touch that one. It goes straight to your family. It doesn't go through probate.
Thank you so much. So Jennifer, I hope you're getting it now that with life insurance, the government cannot touch it. So I guess getting the trust is like getting a dead book on your door. It's super secure. Jennifer says, wow, rich people have been keeping this from us for a long time. God bless you, Deacon Isaac. Well, I mean, now that we've been keeping it away from you guys, that's why we are sharing it, I want to see my millionaires gather here. That's why today decided to bring it on the Pulpit Discussions for you all to benefit. We don't want to be selfish. Dickness Bridges says, thank you. And Jennifer says, please, I like layers. Just my luck. Mr. America will come. My money, LOL. Layers, puppy. So I want to bring this last question and then you can bring in your closing. I do have an auntie who did a term policy. She did it for 20 years. I guess she never thought 20 years would come by so fast. And now she was telling me that she has just 2 years left on the term policy. And I was telling her to call the insurance company that she may be able to convert it to a whole life policy. Is that possible?
Yes. So we have to take a look at and see the terms and conditions in that policy. So sometimes if you have a term policy, some of the term policies are renewable. Some of them are convertible. Some of them are renewable and convertible. So we have to take a look and see if it is renewable. What that principally means that he can renew it. He can still when that 20 years is up, he can get another 20 years or another 10 years. But now, without the insurance company going to look at her records, going to do medicals again, that is what is called guaranteed renewable policy. It is one of the policies that is not common in the system. So, but because she got it a long time ago, I might think that maybe it might be something that might be renewable. So if it's renewable, that means even if she has some medical issue, she can still continue with the policy after the 20 years. Say, I want to renew it. I want to continue for another 20 years. But the only disadvantage is that now the insurance company is going to charge her based on her current age. Yes, so they are not going to look at your medical record. They're not going to check your anything, no labs. But now, if it is a renewable policy, then they're going to look at your current age. So when he started, if she was, let's say, 40 years, 20 years has come, she's 60 years now. So now we're going to use 60 years for the calculation. So the amount that she's going to change, it's going to pay is what's going to change. Yes, if she is in a good health, then I will suggest that she get a permanent policy. If she can qualify, get a permanent policy. Even if it is something small, it is better than what? It's better than staying in the term policy and pay for another 10, 15 years. That is going to catch up with you very soon. And then you think, all the money that you paid is gone. So if she can qualify for a permanent, she can get a permanent. That is going to be my recommendation, to get a permanent. Sometimes you just have to try to qualify for it and then just design something small. And then, but if the policy is a renewable policy, then you can also renew it.
All right, thank you so much. Sister Gladys Sue says, God bless you, Deacon. Please, can you transfer your Army SGLI to whole life insurance you have with one of the company? or you have to open a new one if you don't want to transfer your VA one?
Okay, so yeah, that is a good question. So when you leave the military, the SGLI has to be converted to what is called VGLI. So the SGLI is a service group life insurance, and the VGLI is what the veterans group life insurance. So once you leave the military, you have 120 days to be able to enroll into what the VGLI. So I don't want to go too deep into that. We can talk too much. We can talk a lot about that to be able to show you what the VGLI is, and then what it can do and what it cannot do. And then last week I was showing something to somebody and telling me nobody told me that. Yeah, they will not tell you. So definitely yes, Gladys, you can do that. So once you leave the military, you're going to have the VGLI, but we need to talk. We need to talk because I just get out from the military not long ago, and I've seen certain things that I would love to share with you before you move on to the VGLI aspect. Or better still, you can get your private life insurance. So yes, so I really would love to share one or two things with you with the VGLI and then the transformation and the conversion to the VGLI before you make that decision.
Thank you so much. And just so you know, we do have Deacon's contact information on there. He was telling me before the program started that he had to reach out to the company. There are some things that he couldn't show on here just because of HIPAA rules and privacy reasons. There were some visuals that he had intended after he reached out to the company. He was told he couldn't show it. So it will be good if you reach out to him directly so that he can tailor it to your needs. And that is his contact information that I am showing. So Diki Hannah, if you please want to bring in your closing and what you want to tell people that are watching whether to get term, whole, or universal, whatever you want to say in your closing.
All right, so bringing it to a close, what I will say is thank you very much, First Lady Dora, for allowing us to discuss this. This is some of the topics that most of the platforms, they don't want us to discuss it. Because once you started bringing in this, people will stop even watching your shows. But I'm very glad that you say, hey, let's go ahead and talk about this. Because it is something that we need to understand. We also thank the viewers for showing up all the time and then watching and then bringing out the questions and then contributing and bringing those life stories and life experiences so that we all can get better. That is the only thing. We all can get better from learning from the past so that tomorrow is going to be better. So what I would say is, and I said the same thing last time, do not be a provider, just a provider. Do not just be a provider, be a protector. Don't just worry about, okay, how can I provide for the family? How can I provide for the family? Be also, how can I protect the family? So don't just provide for the family, be a protector. You have to protect what you love. Protect your wife, protect your children. As our First Lady was asking, when is the best time to get it? It's today. So I don't have to wait. I don't have to do it today. What you can do today, or what you want to wait and do it next year, you can still do it today. But the only difference is that next year is not guaranteed. So one, protect what you love. So after you have provided for them, you have to protect those you love. Number one person that you love is yourself. You have to love yourself to the point that, hey, if I become sick, I don't want my sickness to bring financial stress or financial burden to my family. So I'm protecting myself because I love myself. Now you also have to love your spouse, your wife, and your husband or your yes. So you have to love them and get the life insurance for them as well. And then love your children because they are your asset. Those are your investment, and everything that is an investment, you have to protect it. Everything that is an investment needs to be protected. And then number 3, you have to protect what you earn, your income. So think about life this way. Now you are working, you are very strong, you're going, you're coming. What if you cannot go to work again? When the what if comes in, it's too late for you. So you have to protect those things. You have to protect what you earn. So I talk about what you earn. You have to protect what you own. What do you own? Your houses, your cars, all the assets, the businesses that you own, you have to protect them. Other than that, you build all these things here, and then somebody will come and take it from you. Because that's what's happening in America. Those who don't have are trying to take it away from those who have. And then the last thing, protect what you owe. Those student loans and credit card and mortgage, and then the car loans that you have to protect that. So that when you pass away one day, or when you cannot go again, when you get sick, those bills can still be paid. So that it can what? It cannot become financial burden what? To your family. When is the best time to act? Now. So you can wait tomorrow, but the waiting game is always a losing game. So this is what I want to tell you. Whoever you know, so I come here to share the information. Maybe you have another financial professional that you trust. Reach out to them. Let them sit down with you and give you more details. Go on the drawing board and share this information. And then be able to pick and choose and ask all your questions, and then let that person help you. It shouldn't be me alone, because if everybody have to come to me, I won't be able to help everybody. So whoever you think is the one that you trust, financial advisor or financial professional that you trust, reach out to them. Let them put something in place for you and your family. Let them help you, so that together we all can grow together as a community. Together we all can stand. And whenever something happens, you're going to leave a bill, but not, well, you're going to leave a will, but not a bill behind. Whenever something happens, it's going to make you, but it will never break you. So thank you very much, First Lady, for putting this together. Hopefully, we are going to be what? Listeners and the doers. We are not just going to listen to it and push it down the table and forget about it. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much. And one thing I really like towards the end just shows how selfless you are. Like by saying that you cannot handle all this. Imagine, all the people on pulpit and everybody coming to you. You that would be too much. That is why we have other agents, even in the church. We have other agents. Even though Deacon is licensed in all 50 states, but like you rightly said, he cannot handle everybody. So look for an agent you can trust. I can say my father is also doing it. He is in Chicago, in Illinois, so specifically Romeoville. If you are interested in that area, you can reach out to him as well. And the Texas area, Deacon Henna is here handling us. So let's really take advantage of this. It really helps. But before you go, Deacon Henna, I just thought of something, and I'm sorry, very quick one. What happens if I outlive my policy?
So that's a good question. Mostly policies that we outlive are the term policies. So let me start from this one. If you have insurance through your job, you can outlive it, because if you leave that job, that policy is gone. So all this time you're talking about that has not come in, and it's very good that you brought that question. So if you have insurance through your job, you can outlive that policy. Why? Because let's say you work at that job 10 years and you leave to go to a different company, and then what happened? Maybe you leave this company, all the money that you pay there, you leave it. So you have lived that policy. Now, if you have a term policy also, you can outlive it. You buy it for 20 years, 30 years, and the 20 years come and you're still alive, then you have outlived the policy. Now, mostly the permanent policies, like a whole life and the universal, and then the variable universal life and other things, is very hard. It's very unlikely for you to outlive those policies. If we take a look at the basic whole life policy, is there until 101 up to 100 years. Up to 100 years. Yes. Now, at the age of 100, is the policy going to get disappeared? No. There is something that is called the policy has endowed or matured. So at the age of 100, if the person is still alive, the person can go and take all the money in the life insurance and walk away. Yes, so that means that policy has matured. That time is up to 100 years. So if the policy matured 100 years, you go and take all your money out, you're done. There are some policies that can go up to maybe 120 years, 121 years. It's going to be very unlikely for you to outlive that policy. But let's say you belong to maybe Abraham and Moses generation, and you can live longer, 140 years, you are still here and you're still kicking. At the age of, if you get a one that is up to 120, 121, at that time, that policy has matured and you can go and take all your money out. So if it is $5 million you have at that time, you can go and take all that money out at that time. So research has shown that people would outlive their term policy more than they will outlive their permanent policy, because most of the permanent policy is there up to 100 years. And not many people can live to see 100 years. But if you are one out of that 1,000 people that live to see 100 years, are you going to lose your money? No. You just go and take all your money out at that time because the policy has matured.
Thank you so much for letting me understand that when I hit 100, I'm going on a cruise with whoever is left. So, very, very good. Gladys says, thank you, Kwame and the whole Pulpit Media team. Thank you, Deacon. Sure. And Jennifer says, such a great 2-week session. As always, thank you, God. God bless you, Pastor of Mami, Isaac, and the entire Pulpit team. God bless you all for watching. We do this, like I said, as believers, we know heaven is a goal. But as long as we live here on earth, we want to live comfortably. And that is why we felt the need to bring a deacon to come and explain these things to us, so that as much as we are benefiting spiritually, we can benefit physically as well. So if you are here listening to me, and after taking all these good stuff in, you don't have a relationship with Christ, then life is really meaningless. Because one day, whether you like it or not, you are going to die. And then after death, what happens? So if you're listening to me or watching and you like to give your life to Christ, I would like to lead you that. Just say this after me. Dear Lord Jesus, I come before you this day. I want a relationship with you. Forgive me my sins. Cleanse me from all unrighteousness. I accept you as my Lord and Savior. Come and be the Lord of my life and write my name in the book of life. Amen. It is as simple as that. And if you said this prayer, we'd like to hear from you. Email us on the info.pulpitmedia@gmail.com. And for the last time, I want to share Deacon's information one more time. If you want to take a screenshot, please go ahead and do that. That is him, Deacon Hennes, 717-343-0111. God bless you, and you can contact him anytime. In Illinois, contact Elder David. Thank you. God bless. And you can get him through me. Email me, text me, whatever, and link you all to these wonderful people. Love you so much.